Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is IRDINA and my matric number is 2318716. I am from group 1. Our group topic is Fiqh in the modern era. And my part in this study and presentation is introduction and conclusion. I would like to begin with the background of usul fiqh, how fiqh has evolved in modern times and why this study is important for Muslims today. Let's start with background of usul fiqh. Usul fiqh has two meanings. Literally, it means deep understanding or comprehension. Technically, usul fiqh refers to the principles and methods used to derive Islamic legal rulings from the divine sources, which is the Quran and Sunnah. These rulings guide human behavior and daily life according to Sharia. Usul fiqh developed gradually throughout Islamic history. During the time of Prophet Muhammad SAW, Quran and Sunnah were the main sources of law. Whenever an issue arose, the Prophet provided direct guidance. After the Prophet passed away, Muslims entered the era of the companions. During this time, Islam expanded into new regions with different cultures and social systems. Because there was no longer a final authority, the companions used ijtihad, which means logical reasoning based on Islamic principles, to solve new issues. This period marked the early development of usul fiqh through methods like ijma', which is scholarly consensus, and qiyas, which is analogical reasoning. Next came the era of the tabi'in, where Islamic legal thought continued to grow. Different approaches to understanding Islamic law began to emerge. Eventually, this led to the formation of four major mazahib contributed by Imam Abu Hanifah, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, and Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. During this classical period, the principles and foundations of Islamic jurisprudence were systematically organized and strengthened. Moving on to the evolution of fiqh in the modern era, Muslims faced many new challenges that were not present in the classical period. Firstly, advances in technology, especially information and communication technology. All of these have changed how people interact. Issues such as data privacy, cybersecurity, online fraud, and digital transactions now require Islamic legal guidance. Secondly, globalization has connected countries economically, politically, and socially. This has created new concerns related to human rights, international trade, environmental protection, and global ethics. Thirdly, multiculturalism and pluralism are increasingly common today. Muslims live alongside with people with different cultures and beliefs. This raises questions about how Islamic rulings can be applied while respecting diversity and social harmony. Lastly, modern developments in science and medicine such as biotechnology, organ transplantation, and medical ethics. All of these have introduced new questions that were not discussed in classical usul fiqh. To address these challenges, scholars emphasize the reinterpretation of Quran and Hadith using Maqasid al-Shari'ah, which focuses on the objectives of Islamic law, such as justice, protection of life, and human dignity. Scholars also analyze the matan, or the content of the Hadith, carefully. Additionally, modern Islamic jurisprudence explores how supplementary legal principles can support classical methods. This allows the Islamic law to remain relevant while staying true to its core values. Lastly, there are two main reasons why studying usul fiqh in the modern era is important. Firstly, it helps us to understand how Islamic legal reasoning responds to change. Usul fiqh shows that Islamic law is not rigid or outdated. Instead, it is dynamic and capable of addressing new realities while remaining grounded in the Quran and Sunnah. This bridges the gap between the classical Islamic scholarship and modern society. Secondly, studying Islamic jurisprudence ensures the continued relevance of fiqh for contemporary Muslim societies. Modern ethical, moral, and legal issues require balanced solutions that respect both the context and the text. Through structured reasoning and careful study of both historical and modern developments, scholars can provide informed rulings that protect the objectives of Maqasid Sharia while addressing today's challenges. To sum up the study, usul fiqh is the method used to derive Islamic law from the Quran and Sunnah to guide human behavior. Its development began during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, continued through the ijtihad of the companions, and was later systematically organized during the classical period by the four great imams, which led to the formation of major mazahib. However, today's world is very different from the classical era. Rapid developments in technology, science, globalization, and multicultural societies have created new fiqh issues that were not discussed before. Because of this, scholars cannot rely on literal interpretations. Instead, they must apply contextual understanding, Maqasid al-Shari'ah, and broader juristic tools while still preserving the authority of the Quran and Sunnah. Besides, there are some major modern fiqh challenges including online fraud, data privacy, misinformation, cyberbullying, and ethical use of artificial intelligence. These issues relate closely to the protection of human dignity and intellect, known as hifzu al-aqal. In healthcare, issues such as vaccination require the scholars to balance between the individual rights with public safety. Meanwhile, modern reproductive technologies raise concerns about the preservation of lineage, or hifzu al-nasl. In social and family life, challenges such as early marriage, divorce, financial responsibility, and family instability can affect the welfare of the children and also society as a whole. To address these issues, scholars use the primary source of Islamic law, which are the Quran, Sunnah, Ijma', and Qiyas. In addition, they also apply secondary sources such as istisad, maslahah mursala, sad al-dara'i, istishab, and the practice of people of Madinah. Moreover, the core of modern Islamic legal reasoning is Maqasid al-Shari'ah, which focusing on preserving the religion, life, intellect, lineage, and wealth. All of these objectives are further guided by the levels of the Riyad, Hajiyat, and Tasniyat, which all of these help the scholars to balance rulings in areas such as technology, healthcare, business, and family matters. In Malaysia, institutions such as the Federal Territories Mufti's Office and JAKIM, as well as international bodies like the International Islamic Fiqh Academy and Darul Ifta, all of these practice collective ijtihad. Through discussion and research, they provide guidance that balance traditional Islamic principles with modern realities. In conclusion, contemporary usul fiqh prove that Islamic law is dynamic, adaptable, and contextual. It enables the Muslims to face modern challenges confidently while remaining firmly faithful to the Quran and Sunnah. And that is all from me. I hope you learned something from this video. Thank you so much for listening.